Discussion keeps the world turning.
This is Roundtable.
Hello, welcome to Roundtable, where we serve up piping hot debates on the issues that sizzle in China and beyond. I'm Niu Honglin. As leaders from across the globe gather in Davos for the 2025 Winter World Economic Forum, we turn the spotlight on the young changemakers stepping up to tackle the world's most complex challenges. This year's theme, Collaboration for the Intelligent Age, underscores the critical role of trust and partnership in shaping a sustainable and inclusive future. In this episode, we'll explore how young talents are contributing fresh ideas, bold initiatives, and innovative solutions to issues like climate change, economic recovery, and sustainable development. Now grab your virtual compass and follow us to the heart of the discussion. As the snow blankets the serene Swiss town of Davos, leaders from around the world convene to address the challenges and opportunities that define our era. But in this gathering of CEOs, policymakers, and academics, the voices of young leaders stand out. They are bold, innovative, and solutions-driven. In this episode, we will speak to two young Chinese representatives who have made their marks on the Davos stage. Allow me to welcome Outgoing Curator Liang Ying, or Christy, who's also a member of the Global Shapers Community Guangzhou Hub. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hello, welcome to the show. Can you introduce yourself briefly in one or two sentences? Because I'm pretty sure my introduction of you do not do the justice.
Thank you for having me today. I'm Liang Ying. You can also call me Christy. I'm the outgoing curator and impact officer of the Global Shapers Community Guangzhou Hub. I have been with Global Shapers Community Guangzhou Hub for more than 3 years now. I was honored to be selected as one of the 50 young shaper representatives from hundreds of applicants globally to attend the World Economic Forum's annual meeting of the New Champions 2023, which known as AMNC or Summer Davos. In China, our hub in Guangzhou leveraged the city's position as a hinterland in the Greater Bay Area to amplify our impact globally. We aim to gather potential future leaders and create a dynamic community that contributes to local and global development. My volunteer role in our hubs involves curating projects like Reshape and Zero Carbon Campuses, which address employment and environmental challenges, respectively, as well as leading the hub's operation to recruit new plus while keeping our hub member engaged and making efforts in driving dialogues, action, and change globally. As Guangzhou is the capital city of Guangdong Province in South China, with glamorous titles like the Southgate of China, Millennium Trade Capital, as well as a long history which dates back more than 2,230 years. We use Guangzhou as a base to connect globally, sharing experience and learning from peers to enhance our local impact globally. We strive to tell the story of Guangzhou to the world, showcasing the city's innovation, culture, and commitment to sustainable development. As a leading member in our hub, I'm focusing on initiatives that not only benefit to our local community, but also contribute to global solutions like UN SDGs, ensuring that Guangzhou's voice is heard on the international stage.
So many keywords I want you to elaborate on, but we can do that a little bit later because we have another distinguished guest joining the show, Mr. Fan Hongyi, founder of Curidaosity, something you can explain a bit later, and also community champion of Global Shapers Community. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Niu. It's a great pleasure to join this timely conversation, also with my fellow Global Shaper. So a quick introduction about myself. As you mentioned, I'm the founder of Curidaosity, or in Chinese, 问到东西. We are a platform that empowers young aspiring leaders and forward-looking organizations to become more globally competent through our educational program with a focus on sustainability. So we've worked with some prominent international organizations like UNDP, that is United Nations Development Program, and UNITAR, United Nations Institute of Training and Research, to curate cross-cultural experiences for our clients and our students. Essentially, we are trying to build more bridges that to, close the gaps when it comes to cross-cultural communications and collaboration. And I also wear different hats, one of which is with the Global Shapers community. So the Global Shapers community is part of the World Economic Forum. It was founded back in 2011 by Professor Klaus Schwab. Now it's a global network spanning in more than 150 countries, in more than 500 city-based hubs. I joined the Global Shapers community back in 2019 in Beijing 2 Hub. And later I was the Vice Curator and Curator of Chengdu Hub. And now I'm very proud to be able to serve as the Global Shapers community champion for Greater China. I'm now supporting and advising nearly 20 city-based hubs across the region. So we are a group of young, aspiring leaders, creating different kind of impact-driven projects to bring positive changes in our local community. At the same time, we also collaborate globally, regionally, to find better solutions to some shared challenges. So I had a great opportunity to participate in the Winter Davos back in 2023. And also I joined the Summer Davos last year in Dalian. So I had, very humbling experiences and fascinating journey shared with fellow global shapers. And I'm more than happy to deep dive into some of the experiences and details later in our conversation.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Because these are actually very interesting. Here on Roundtable, we talk about a lot of major events. We talk about exhibitions. We talk about global summits and forums. We talk about the BRICS previously. And one of the most asked questions from our listeners, especially before listening to the show, is that how's that something I would be interested in, especially for the younger generation? Because when it comes to Davos, when it comes to World Economic Forum, people think about important people sitting together, maybe around a round table and talking about major issues. How could sustainable development in the scale of a world developing direction or strategy have something to do with my daily life? We know it's something important. We know representatives would gather together in these occasions, and we know these entrepreneurs, these big heads of world scale enterprises, they gather together, they talk about the development stage of the world. Yes, we understand it's important, but how can this importance affect us as someone young, as some young, innovative talent who's here in China having some ideas about maybe a community-based project that can maybe in the future make a difference? Yet, how's the Davos, for example, in any way can affect my life? But I think both of you have a really good answer for that, because both of you have the experience of participating in the World Economic Forum in either 2023 or 2024. Can you describe what it's like to be there in person, or maybe some programs that you've participated already and left you a really impressionable memory?
Yeah, sure. Attending the Summer Davos 2023 in Tianjin, China was a pivotal experience for me and meaningful to our hub. As August 2023 marks the 5th anniversary of Guangzhou Hub, it was my privilege and great opportunity for me to participate the world's as well as China's governance from a bigger picture and a higher level as a youth, and also one of the shaper representatives through this significant event. With a convergence of over 1,500 global leaders from business, government, and civil society, the diversity of the discussion in different pillars, especially those on sustainable development and top 10 emerging technology of the year. The whole 4-day experience was a big feast of insights, with more than 170 sections were held at the meeting. I value and appreciated both meet the leader session and as well as the founders foundation community dinner session with representatives from young global leaders and Schwab Foundation community, particularly insightful and connected. And we have the opportunity to meet and exchange ideas with role models in persons, like CGTN reporters Wang Guan and Tian Wei, as well as China popular singer Li Yuchun, Director General of WTO Nozi Kawazi Livana. It was inspiring to see how global leaders are tackling global issues and emphasize on youth engagement, which is also aligned with my focus on green development, technology and innovation, women leadership, as well as business for good. I think the World Economic Forum provided a platform to share our local initiative and learn from global best practice, reinforcing the importance of youth in driving change. As young shaper, we had the opportunity to voice our concern and aspiration of the youth and ensuring our perspective are included in the global discussion and development.
I can totally understand. As someone young, you always wanted to learn from the best. And this kind of platform allow you to actually do that, to have in-person connection with these people. You can even ask direct questions. I have a project. I think it's amazing. How do you like it? Do you think I should go for it? Or is there any adjustment I should do about my any kind of project that I'm working on? So definitely this is very precious. But one other thing is that in this world, we value young people's ideas more and more. Like you said, you've presented some really good ideas, the kind of issue that young people would be very interested in or highly concerned about, because at the end of the day, the future belongs to the younger generation. So they have all the right to speak out what they want the world leaders to address. So definitely. So I want to take this question to Chui. That is, did you bring any specific initiatives or, let's say, opinion during your attending?
Oh, wow. So first of all, let me quickly elaborate the reason why the 50 shapers are selected to be part of the Davos conversation. I think the role for us is to basically amplify the voices of youth. So when we go in there, we try not to have our own personal agenda, but we always think about what other fellow shapers, what really the younger generation back home in our community are concerned about. So from that perspective, we always try to voice not only for our own sake, but we try to voice out the concerns we have from the communities, the different stakeholders. So not only that, we are not able to join the conversations. Actually, some of the shapers, they had opportunity to actively engage with some world leaders on the stage. I think that's something I was truly impressed by, also very grateful, because back in 2023, the Davos meeting, we have a few fellow shapers. They were actually on the stage speaking on the topics such as climate action, gender equality, education equality, stuff like that. So that's a very empowering experience because the young people is able to speak to those world leaders, decision makers directly. So in my case, I was very fortunate to be selected as the shaper representative myself. It was also intimidating, like you said. Who am I to speak about all the social issues on such high-level forums? So, but I tried to do my part because I was in venture capital, I was in education. So what I was most care about is always about education and building meaningful connections across cultures. So actually, right before the Davos meeting, I set up my consulting firm back home in Chengdu, which is Curidaosity, by the way. So the Davos meeting kind of became my launch pad of my startup. I brought a lot of idea regarding how we can build meaningful connections and facilitate cross-cultural understanding and mutual respect through different sort of educational programs. So I had the opportunity to speak to different stakeholders, potential partners during the Davos week in Switzerland. So that was truly inspiring because I got a lot of, meaningful contacts, potential, partners for my later projects. So I think the best part of Davos doesn't just end when the Davos meeting wrap up in Switzerland, but actually it starts and goes a long way after the meeting because we stay connected with different people we met within our shaper group, with other community, other partners. So through the common shared journey in Davos, we had that very, I'd say, magical bonding and the personal touch. So we were able to stay in touch and further discuss some potential initiatives where we can collaborate on. So if I may, actually after Davos, we started a new project, which is a overseas study tour. So last year in 2024, we actually brought 2 student groups to Switzerland, to Geneva, to Zurich, to learn about sustainability, to visit different international organizations. Because thanks to my Davos experience, I got some very interesting contacts in Switzerland. So they now become my partners, our mentors for our students, and also for our other initiatives after that. So I see a lot of possibilities from this kind of high-level forums, although it sounds very big, very lofty sometimes, but we actually can make some connections, link those kind of experiences to our day-to-day life. And that's something we're also trying to kind of tell our students, right? Because all those big issues are actually very relevant to their future studies and careers. More and more companies are putting more emphasis, more resources on topics like sustainability, CSR, ESG. So which means the students who are better equipped with relevant skills, they have better chances to excel in the job market and their further studies.
That is very interesting because if you think of it this way, it's kind of like the World Economic Forum leads to the global shapers community and then leads to all of the projects like the ones that you've just described, so that more and more people are involved. They are somehow involved and have a connection with Davos, and they learn about what the Economic Forum is like, and they learn about each other's culture. They make new friends. So I was wondering about Christy. Did you make any very significant friends in your past experience related to Davos? And maybe that also leads to something that you're working on or you've been working on, some new projects. Any examples you'd like to share?
Yeah, during the Summer Davos 2023, I met a lot of cool people like He Chaoxing from Beijing One Hub and Global Alliance of University on Climate, who is intended to promote and realize of the net zero future through events and trainings such as the Climate X campaign. We talk about how to get more young people to care about climate actions. It was like very eye-opening to see how different places have different solutions to the same problem. I think this chat with these cool people had taught me that working together is the key to tackles to the global solutions. And we might came from different places, but we all want to make the world a better place. I think Davos is definitely a great place to meet and learn from each other. It's not just about talking. We are also taking actions and making a real change. Together, we can do an amazing thing together.
Yes, you're definitely right. I once interviewed someone who's holding a diplomatic role in a government. And when it comes to diplomatics, it's about relations between countries. But according to her, she said that the most important diplomatic relationship is the relationship between two people, and sometimes even two persons, two families. When it comes to face-to-face interactions with each other, when we get to actually make friends in these international stage, we started to realize we're not that different. We're kind of the same. We kind of care about the same thing, and we can even work on the same exact project and make the project even bigger. And that is something very valuable. And thank you, both of you, very much for sharing your experiences. And on top of that, I also have another question regarding the reaction or response from the world leaders, not only the young leaders, but the world leaders you've met on Davos, because you've definitely brought about about a lot of nice and important and interesting initiatives and ideas. How are they receiving these initiatives from the younger generation?
If I might chip in my 2 cents, so surprisingly, the world leaders, right, they are very open-minded and curious to learn about what the young people have to say at Davos forums. So just maybe over, a coffee, we would bump into some sort of high-level executive, a CEO from a public company. You never know who would you bump into, but we can always crack a very interesting conversation just over some snack, over some coffee. So at the stage, sometimes we have a shipper representing to speak with some of the high level attendees. So when we chip in some youth voices, they can be very considerate to to really take in the perspectives, the voices, the young people we have. So I'd say our voice are well received, and our presence at Davos was also very energizing because we were there in a group of 50 young people. So we probably were the loudest group at the Davos conference. So that was very interesting thing because from the TV or mainstream media, we see the big names, but actually the young people are actively participating, talking, making meaningful interactions with pioneers, leaders in different industries. I remember this one particular instance where we were just taking a group photo after one of the sessions. It's just a group of young global shapers on the side. But later, Christine Lagarde, who is, I think, the president of European Bank, European Central Bank, just joined us to have that group photo and chat with our fellow shapers about what kind of initiatives we're working on, how the financial institutes like European Central Bank can be of help. So stories like this, I think they are very encouraging because I do agree with Christy that Davos is a very diverse space. We have a different people representing different stakeholders and voices, and somehow we can really find a common ground to listen, to be curious, to talk with each other. So I think that's also the magic at Davos. I really appreciate.
Yeah, recently I've been listening to podcasts and I came across this concept saying that we are moving from figurative culture to post-figurative culture, meaning that instead of younger generations learning primarily from older generations because they have more experiences, yet now we're moving into post-figurative culture, which basically is where younger generations not only learn from their elders but also teach them. So this is like a two-way communication because in this day and age, things move really, really fast. Technology moves so fast. Business model changes very, very fast. And the inspirations, the sparkles and thoughts of the younger generation can sometimes provide a better solution to a lot of important issues, global issues even. So I think that is why we see more and more importance are put on the younger generation. We're seeing more and more opportunities are provided for the younger generation because at the end of the day, the world belongs to the younger generation and might as well take your great ideas in earlier as possible. And now I want to ask you a question that is not only related to young leaders, but also related to the Chinese perspective, because we see for these international events, of course, different countries would have their own advantages and disadvantages. So when it comes to China, do you think Chinese young people, when they're engaging with the World Economic Forum, what unique solutions or contributions have they brought? Because I know you've got Curidaosity. I have a feeling it has something to do with Taoism and it has something to do with cross-culture communication. And pretty sure from your past experience have some insights about China's specific and special role on the world stage, not just on Davos.
Yeah, absolutely. So regarding the brand name, Curiosity is actually a creative combination of Dao, as in Taoism, and curiosity. So what we're trying to do is to build cross-cultural bridges to find the Dao, which is the ultimate way for the cross-cultural collaborations with great sense of curiosity or open-mindedness. Because I'm always intrigued by the concept of Taoism and finding the harmony in the dynamic balance between yin and yang, because it's always moving, it's very dynamic, but somehow we can find a common ground where the both yin and yang can coexist in harmony. I think this is truly beautiful state. And I wouldn't say I have the Tao already or the ultimate way for such collaboration, such common ground across different cultures. But that's the vision we're striving to achieve in the long run at Curidaosity. So if I may give you some examples, we are building more and more personal people-to-people connections through our educational programs, right? Like we brought students groups to overseas to learn about SDG, to meet their young peers and mentors overseas, making meaningful connections with different people in a different culture. And back home, we are host international programs. Here in Chengdu, we host international tourists actually this year. Given the favorable visa-free policy we have, we're expecting more and more international travelers, visitors, delegates to China, right? We want to facilitate their cross-cultural first contact here in China. So we're hosting more foreigners here in China as well. So from through this kind of initiatives, going back and forth, we are trying to build more bridges with an open mind, because we think despite our differences of different culture, different religion, different belief, we share the humanity, which is at the core of us. That's something we can really value and appreciate. And through this kind of initiatives, we want to really bring people together and find better solutions to some shared challenges, like climate challenges, like environmental difficulties we are facing these days. So yeah, thank you for mentioning that, and that's certainly something we're really looking forward to contribute to in the long run.
And I'm very glad to know that you've already made some friends during your Davos experience and expand your project and bringing more young people to learn about, like you said, sustainability and a lot of the bigger picture that most people might find a little bit irrelevant to their daily lives. But once they learn about it, they realize that how important actually these things are. So building the awareness or having the awareness is definitely step one. And let's focus a little bit on this year's Davos, because we know that the 55th annual meeting of the World Economic Forum is scheduled from January 20th to the 24th. And the central theme of this year is collaboration for the intelligent age. Definitely, this has been the key word for the past couple of years already. Artificial intelligence, new quality productivity here in China, and how can new technology enable more and more industries and more people to find a better way of development. This has been the theme of the past several years, and definitely we want to focus on fostering cooperation in the context of rapid technological advancements, particularly in artificial intelligence. So I was wondering for both of you, how do you envision the role of young people in fostering trust and collaboration in the intelligent age, particularly from a Chinese perspective? Because here in China, in this several days, we're already seeing communication between the Chinese netizens and the US netizens thanks to technology. Well, technology has been there for a while, yet we finally see the fruitful results of people communicating with each other face to face. And that is definitely a good sign when it comes to communication, ideas exchanges, and collaboration. So do you think this could be a trend for the younger generation that is amid all those difficulties and adversities, we actually will welcome an age when young people, more and more young people from all around the world would be more than happy to communicate and cooperate with each other? Or are you not as optimistic as I am?
Yeah, I think this year's theme of collaboration for the intelligence age is highly relevant, especially for Chinese youth. So we can leverage our strengths in technology and innovation to lead in areas like AI and data science. By promoting ethical AI practices, enhancing digital literacy, and fostering cross-cultural collaboration, we can build a more inclusive and intelligent future. Chinese youth have the potential to drive positive change through social responsibility and civic engagement. I think in the context of the 2025 Winter Davos, youth resilience and social responsibilities are very crucial. We need to harness our resilience to adapt to global challenges and uncertainties. Our social responsibility drives us to promote green development and prepare for the future of work by enhancing, like just say, AI literacy. By engaging with civically, we can shape a more sustainable and inclusive AI era and ensuring the technology benefits for everyone.
Yeah, if I may just follow up, I think, yeah, again, I do agree with Christy. It's very relevant. It's interesting, actually. 2 years ago, when I was at Davos, we had a private session with the CEO of Microsoft, who then just invested in OpenAI, which is the mother company of ChatGPT. So that was just about the time the ChatGPT and other AI tools grabbing the headlines. And fast forwarding to this year, the theme is focused on artificial intelligence or the intelligent age. So we can see the World Economic Forum is putting a more focus and emphasis on this very important topic. And I think for the young people, it's very important for us to, first of all, be aware and also to be well educated on this topic, because we're basically on the edge of the fourth industrial revolution. The artificial intelligence is advancing very fast. It brings a lot of challenges and uncertainties. So there's so much we don't know yet. So as younger people, we are able to keep updated with a lot of latest technologies and latest tools, latest platforms. So we're able to, first of all, be informed and see how we can leverage this kind of technologies. And also something very important on top of that is how to regulate AI. Simply because it's in transforming our lives from different ways. There will be a lot of potential dangers in the AI tools as well. So young people should be better informed and aware and speak up when it's needed. See what kind of regulations we want for, let's say, some social media platforms, because we see recent controversy on TikTok ban and other social platforms, because they are basically governed by the algorithms. We don't want people in different culture, different society to live in their echo chamber. They only consume certain type of information. They don't talk with each other simply because they are governed by the algorithms, right? So I think it's our responsibility, young people's role, to be more actively involved in the development of artificial intelligence and say how we can better leverage this tool instead of be utilized by the big companies, right? And if I may add, also it has to do with the employment, right? Because AI tools, the AI-powered platforms, they're gonna take a lot of jobs. So the young people should learn how to use some of the AI technologies instead of be replaced by AI. So it's very important for the young people to learn about it, to use it, to speak about it. And for the Chinese youth, I think it's also important for us to speak what our concerns are, right? And to have a bigger influence.
When I first hear the theme collaboration for the intelligent age, I was thinking, are you talking about collaborating with other people, or are you talking about collaborating with artificial intelligence? Because it's really the starting era that you think about. Some people joke online saying that now I feel like I am also a team leader. I have several members in my team. I have ChatGPT, I have Kimi, I have Doubao, and these are the employees. I also pay for my employees in the sense that when this person is saying I'm paying for my employees, he or she is actually saying I'm paying my membership to use these tools. And that is the kind of mindset people are having these days. That is, they can, of course, think about whether or not they will be replaced by artificial intelligence, but more importantly, we are learning to use it, like Choi has said. And now, while nearly 40% of global employment is exposed to artificial intelligence, it is anticipated that most of this impact will be to augment work rather than to fully automate existing occupations. So we still have our places here. We can still play a part as a human being instead of being replaced by artificial intelligence. But I agree with both of you. It is something that we should strive for. We cannot take for granted anymore. So yes, I was wondering for both of you, while you are working on your projects or your current job, full-time job, have you been working with artificial intelligence, or how are you incorporating artificial intelligence in your day-to-day life?
Well, if I may just kick things off, I'd say, yeah, I do use it on the day-to-day basis. Actually have a dedicated AI assistant on ChatGPT. So I've been feeding all the, business secrets or business information at ChatGPT. So he or she, I don't know, it is my assistant for a lot of work. So it really enhanced my work efficiency regarding some paperwork, making responses on emails. So it's been super helpful. And at the same time, I try to be cautious, right? I don't want I don't want AI to know everything, all the information about what we do, so I try to use different tools at the same time. So I also simultaneously am on Kimi, which is also a useful platform, so I can cross check the information, right? See, okay, so the AI is providing me this set of answers. The other AI tool is providing a different set of answers. So it comes back to me to make the final decision and evaluation, which is the right, or how I would modify the answers on top of what AI is providing. So I think that's kind of a working relationship I have with AI, dependent on AI. At the same time, I'm trying to leverage AI as much as I can through different platforms as well. So I'm still figuring out, but it's definitely a tool I will continue exploring.
Mm.
Sure.
This sounds very interesting because if you take a look at the themes of this year's Davos, we get to see that there are several interesting features or interesting sub-themes. We have rebuilding trust, reimagining growth, investing in people, safeguarding the planet, and industries in the intelligent age, among which definitely we've already touched upon investing in people, because making people be more aware of how to use artificial intelligence in their daily life is a way to invest in people. And when it comes to reimagine growth, definitely it has already been changed, the way we grow, the way the industry grows. And at the same time, I was wondering, when it comes to safeguarding the planet, industries in the intelligent age, as well as rebuilding trust. So I was kind of curious about whether or not you are interested in any of these subjects as a young Chinese leader.
Yeah, among these themes featured in this year's Davos, I'm particularly interested in the rebuilding trust, investing in people, and safeguarding the planet. And I think Chinese youth have been very active in these areas by promoting transparency and ethical practice in business, advocating for sustainable economic models, and supporting education as well as the skill development. Me myself, initiative project in our hub in Guangzhou hub is a reshape project which is originally from my peers' experience, get along with the disadvantaged people in vocational high school and also the hub operation, where I saw the needs for inclusive education and employment opportunities. I think having worked with these diverse industry and NGOs, I have seen the impact of inclusive environments. And the project aims to bridge the gap between talent and employers in the era of AI, particularly of disadvantaged groups. We achieve these through like insight sharing, job fairs, upskill workshops, mentorship program, company visits, and talent development reports. So our goal is to create a more inclusive workforce and support and resilient leadership of the community.
I was wondering because I know you also have another project called Zero Carbon Campus. I think this is very interesting because we talk about the theme of safeguarding the planet and when it comes to improving the environment, when it comes to carbon neutrality, when it comes to lucid water and lush mountains. These have been the concepts that Chinese people are growing to be more and more familiar to because we understand the relationship between people and the planet is always that we rely on the environment. Chinese people are more and more aware of the situation. So I was wondering, is this zero carbon campus the kind of project that is raising people's awareness in universities or different campuses about protecting the environment?
Yes, the Zero Carbon Campuses project focus on low carbon education for young generations. We achieve this through insight sharing, low carbon company with and campus visits, and also the climate action workshop. By educating the next generation, we hope to create a ripple effect that extend beyond the campus and contributing to a greener future. That's one of our events was organized. We organized the Sustainability for Future Generation seminar in 2023 with 60 guests participated and 10 speakers, including the former Under Secretary General of the United Nations, as well as other speakers from education, PR, recycling, and investment sectors to share insights, best practice, as well as challenges on the sustainable development. Add on to the Reshape project, we curated the Reshape Career Development Forum and Inclusive Job Fair in Guangzhou last year. We had like 200 guests participated, included 15 disadvantaged people, as well as 18 speakers and 16 recruitment company, which providing more nearly 100 job vacancies. And at the same weekend, we also curated Global Shapers Community Greater Bay Area retreat with Shenzhen Hub and Hong Kong Hub. We have the support and participation from the rest of another 7 hubs across China. And in November 2024, we were in partnership with the Guangdong Human Resources Management Associate for 6 more job fairs and sharing, benefiting over 200 disadvantaged people. So we will have the opportunity to invite the young global leaders, Sun Lei, who is the CMO of Yaseng Young Global Leader in 2016. She also mentioned about ESG stuff, the initiative inside the company, and also with the to cultivate the women in leadership. I think it's a good mix of these 2 projects that demonstrate the power of young people and to creating a meaningful change and contribute to a sustainable future, as well as echo to national policy and tackle to global issues with social responsibilities with a resilient leadership.
That is very much honorable work, and thank you for sharing that. I think it's projects like that, and like you said, national policy and a lot of effort from different major companies in the country that are pushing us towards the goal of carbon neutrality. So look forward to that. And we also know that according to the International Energy Agency, the technology on the market today can allow us to achieve 66% of the global emissions reductions needed if we are to reach the net zero by 2050. So definitely still a lot of work, and we see China is working on to the right direction, and projects like Zero Carbon Campus is playing a part, and that is young people playing a part. So I'm very glad to hear that example. And at the same time, Choi, we understand that you've been working on sustainable development as well, but also cross-cultural communication, education, and more. So do you have any other insights when it comes to investing in people? Any other fun stories you'd like to share?
Yeah, sure. I think those topics are actually interconnected in different ways, right? When we talk about people and planets, if you really think about it, people with human being race is part of the planet actually. And when we invest in people, I think one major way is through education, through our cross-cultural programs. And yes, we also have different other initiatives around these topics. I wouldn't say any insights, but I think it's just very important to help the students understand, right? That those big topics are very relevant to their daily life and their future studies and career. So through our programs, for example, the overseas study tours and international events we have here in China, we want to create this kind of platform where the young people particularly can have that international exposure, because seeing is believing.
Very well said. I think you're right. Seeing is believing, and understanding, where different level of understanding can lead to different level of commitment and action. And only when we see the challenges and actually understand the challenges and understand our role in it can we really make contributions. So yes, thank you. I think those are really good stories you've shared. One last question to conclude today's show. That is, what advice would you give to other young leaders who want to make an impact but feel a little bit limited by their resources or networks? What can they do to make a bigger contribution when they want to?
Yeah, for young leaders who want to make an impact but feel limited by resources or networks, my advice is number one, stay curious and never stop learning. Passion is your biggest asset. Use it to drive it, change, and don't be afraid to take risks. And sometimes the most impactful ideas come from stepping out of your comfort zone. And number two, building a stronger network is crucial. Joining platforms like Global Shapers communities, where you can connect with like minded people and mentors. These connections can open the doors and provide the support you need. Turn your idea into reality. And do remember, every small action counts. You don't have to change the world overnight. Consistent small step can also lead to big changes. And number three, stay resilient. There will be challenges, but don't let them discourage you. Keep pushing forward. Stay focused on your goals and believe in your ability to make a difference. Together, we believe that we can make a better world and better future, just one step at a time.
That's very inspiring, Christy. Indeed, I think it's very important to be curious, to be resilient in this uncertain age, now powered by artificial intelligence. So I do encourage young people to be open-minded, to be curious about new things, try to learn, to try to stay on top of things. And another thing I'd say is to find your ikigai. So ikigai is a term originated from Japan, meaning the purpose of life. So there are different spheres of your life mission, which includes something you are passionate about, something that is contributing to the society, something you are good at, you are skillful at, and something that can help you make money, right? So always look at these four spheres, how you can contribute, what are the things you are good at, or what are the things can have a social value and also creates your life saving as well. So I think it's always look at these different spaces and find the center of it where those four spheres overlap. That's your ikigai. And I do agree with Christy. We can dream big, but we start doing small, one action, one SDG goal at a time, and enjoy the process because it's gonna be both challenging and rewarding. But as long as you are growing, you are learning things, I think the journey itself is the reward.
Thank you so much. Thank you, both of you. Very well said. I've learned a lot today. Thank you so much. And that brings us to the end of today's roundtable. Thanks again to our great guests, outgoing curator Christy Liang Ying with Global Shapers Community Guangzhou Hub, and Fan Hongyi, founder of Curidaosity, also community champion of Global Shapers Community. And for our dear listeners, we'd love to hear your thoughts on today's topic. Leave us a comment or send us an email to roundtablepodcast@qq.com. I'm Niu Honglin. Until next time, keep the conversations going and the ideas flowing. Bye.